Have you ever picked up an old penny from your change jar, glanced at its worn copper surface, and tossed it aside without a second thought? What if I told you that a simple, seemingly insignificant coin minted in 1974, specifically the 1974 USA 1-cent coin, could be worth a jaw-dropping $3.11 million due to its fascinating history, highly specific minting errors, rare composition anomalies, and the intense desire of collectors around the world to own a piece of numismatic legend? Welcome back to the channel where we uncover the secrets hidden in plain sight. Today's spotlight falls on one of the most undervalued yet highly sought-after pennies in American coinage history, the legendary 1974 Lincoln penny that has baffled collectors, stirred controversies, and opened the eyes of casual coin holders to the extraordinary possibilities that lie beneath the surface of what they assumed was just spare change, because unlike other ordinary cents made in 1974, which were mostly composed of copper or, in some rare experimental cases, aluminum, the 1974 coin carries a complicated backstory, one that includes federal decisions, mint experiments, unexpected legal disputes, and even a glimpse into what could have changed the entire future of U.S. coin production. While most people look for gold or diamonds, coin enthusiasts and serious collectors dig deep into the archives and hoard boxes in search of coins just like this. Because what gives this coin its million-dollar value isn't just its date or mint mark, but the incredibly rare possibilities of minting mistakes that occurred during a period of transition, particularly around the U.S. Mint's effort to experiment with alternative metals due to the rising cost of copper in the early 1970s, leading to several unauthorized test strikes, strange alloy blends, doubling errors, off-center misprints, die cracks, planchet defects, and incredibly low surviving populations of experimental issues that were never supposed to make it into circulation in the first place. And even though the 1974 aluminum cent is more widely discussed due to its rarity, the 1974 holds a uniquely mysterious value because Denver Mint was never officially authorized to produce aluminum cents, yet reports and rumors have long swirled around a small number that were nonetheless struck there, potentially in secret or in error. And when combined with the already rare off-metal strikes, including transitional errors where planchets intended for different denominations or years were used by mistake, it creates a perfect storm of rarity, controversy, and jaw-dropping appraisal values at high-profile auctions where wealthy collectors compete fiercely over just a handful of surviving examples. Further complicating and intensifying the frenzy are dramatic doubling errors found in some specimens from this year, including strong doubling on the motto "I in God We Trust" or on the word liberty, and even sometimes on Lincoln's profile itself, leading to dramatically increased demand from error coin collectors. And then there are the off-center strikes that sometimes leave part of Lincoln's face or the date partially missing while still showing enough of the coin's identity to make it valuable, not to mention the broad strikes where the rim is entirely missing or the coin is distorted due to improper striking pressure. And let's not overlook the planchet errors where the coin was struck on a foreign or leftover blank, resulting in weight, color, and even electromagnetic properties that differ from standard 1-cent coins. And that's when you realize that the 1974 penny is not merely about age or nostalgia. It's about the perfect confluence of historical experimentation, mint secrecy, metallurgical anomalies, and minting mistakes that were never meant to see the light of day but somehow ended up in circulation or in private collections and have since become the holy grail for some collectors, because when one such specimen appears at an auction, it causes a storm in the numismatic community, with prices soaring beyond expectation, especially when the coin is graded and certified by top agencies like PCGS or NGC, where a top-grade MS67 red or red-brown error coin from this date and mint mark has been known to reach astronomical figures as collectors fight to own not just a coin, but a piece of a short-lived, controversial, and secretive chapter of U.S. mint history, and stories of people finding rare 1974 pennies in inherited collections, estate sales, or even pocket change have fueled the craze further, making this coin not only one of the most expensive but also one of the most hunted in modern times. And with modern technology, collectors now have better tools to verify metal content, weight anomalies, strike variations, and photographic error detection. which is helping more people than ever realize they may be holding a life-changing piece of American history in their very hands. Because when you factor in the historical context, the U.S. Mint's internal chaos during the economic stress of the early 70s, the drive to find alternatives to copper, the Mint's battle with Congress over authority and transparency, and the fact that multiple types of experimental strikes were created, recalled, destroyed, or lost, the 1974 D penny rises far above its 1 cent face value to become a treasure trove of mystery and opportunity. And while not every 1974 D penny is worth millions, knowing what to look for, whether it's an aluminum composition, double die obverse, off-center strike, improper alloy mix, or extremely high mint state grading, can turn your penny into a payday. So don't throw away your change just yet, because among the everyday coins could lie a story, a rarity, and a fortune waiting to be discovered. So if you found this deep dive fascinating and want to learn more about the hidden wealth in coins you already own, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell so you never miss the next $1 million coin revelation. Next, have you ever checked your loose change and wondered if that simple copper-colored coin might be worth thousands of dollars? Well, brace yourself, because the 2003 USA 1-cent coin might be hiding in your pocket, and it's turning heads in the numismatic world with a jaw-dropping value of $5,327 due to rare errors, unusual minting mistakes, and a growing community of collectors obsessed with these undervalued gems. Welcome to our channel where we dig deep into the most astonishing coin discoveries in American history, and today's story might just convince you to start inspecting every penny you come across, because the 2003 1-cent coin isn't just a penny. It's a hidden treasure wrapped in copper and mystery, a remarkable anomaly minted in a year where quality control slipped just enough to birth several variations now commanding thousands at auctions and private sales alike. And as we dive into this compelling tale of overlooked riches, we uncover the fascinating layers of minting errors like off-center strikes, double die obverse, die cracks, and clipped planchets that transformed this unassuming Lincoln Memorial sent into one of the most desirable coins for seasoned collectors and casual finders alike, with some examples showing ghostly shadows of doubling around the date, particularly the 3 in 2003, and in some cases, these errors align perfectly with the infamous double die obverse pattern where Lincoln's profile shows a soft shadow image behind it. A textbook indication of the die shifting slightly between strikes, something rare yet profoundly impactful on a coin's value. And it doesn't stop there, because another category of this valuable 2003 cent includes coins that were improperly struck on foreign planchets or transitional blanks, resulting in coins that weigh slightly less or more than the standard 2.5 grams, which, when tested, reveal a metallic composition anomaly that screams rarity and sparks bidding wars in numismatic circles. And we can't ignore the high-grade examples graded MS-68 or higher by PCGS or NGC, which are exceedingly rare due to the sheer volume of pennies minted in 2003, over 3.5 billion from the Philadelphia Mint alone. But despite the massive output, coins with flawless fields, no contact marks, sharp strikes, and rich red coloration are few and far between, and when these unicorns appear, they fetch thousands due to their pristine state combined with the year's error-laden reputation. And speaking of reputation, the 2003 cent has gained a cult-like following among collectors due to its inclusion in various sets and era catalogs, especially when linked to stories of finders accidentally discovering a fortune in their junk drawers or coin jars, such as the famous incident where a Florida man found a 2003 cent with a full brockage error, an incredibly rare mistake where the design is completely mirrored due to another coin sticking to the die, and sold it for over $4,000. And then there are the clipped planchets, particularly curved and straight clips, which clearly show a missing section of metal as though someone took a bite out of the coin. But these aren't damage, they are factory errors caused when a blank sheet of metal was misfed into the punching machine, and such mistakes result in collectible oddities that command huge premiums. And when combined with other features like double dies or retained interior die breaks, commonly known as cuds, the value soars exponentially. And let's not forget the popularity of BIE errors in 2003 cents, a peculiar die break between the B and E of liberty that looks like the letter I, creating the illusion that the word reads Liberty, which sounds minor, but for era coin collectors, it's a goldmine, especially when the break is crisp and well centered. And as we delve further, you'll learn that coin grading plays a massive role in value. An MS-68 coin may sell for over $5,000, while an MS-60 example might barely fetch $10, meaning the condition is king. And those who've preserved coins in airtight holders or uncirculated rolls from 2003 could be sitting on treasure troves without knowing it. And now imagine finding a 2003 cent with a rotated die alignment where the reverse appears sideways or upside down compared to the obverse. These rarities are hot commodities and often slip through quality checks unnoticed until sharp-eyed collectors identify them. And as the coin market continues to thrive on limited supply and heightened demand, especially driven by social media and online auction platforms, these anomalies are skyrocketing in value, with new records being broken annually. And the story of the 2003 cent doesn't just end with errors. It also intersects with historical context, as it was minted during a transitional period in U.S. coinage before the 2009 bicentennial redesigns and long before the Lincoln Shield reverse in 2010, meaning collectors view this year as part of a fading era of memorial cents, and therefore, even standard 2003 cents in perfect condition are gaining momentum as vintage-based coins for sets. And speaking of sets, mint sets and proof sets from 2003 sometimes contain early strikes or special mint varieties with subtly different finishes, and unscrupulous vendors have been caught cracking open these sets to cherry-pick the best cents and resell them individually, a practice that both fuels the market and drives up prices as supply dwindles. And if you're wondering what makes a coin cross the threshold from pocket change to valuable collectible, it's a mix of scarcity, desirability, condition, and story. And the 2003 cent has all of those wrapped into a compelling narrative that transforms a humble penny into a prize-worthy possession. And as auction records show, values fluctuate based on grading reports, provenance, and even regional collecting trends. And the resurgence of numismatic interest among younger generations, fueled by TikTok and YouTube coin hunting channels, has injected new energy into coins like the 2003 cent, giving them viral visibility and higher demand than ever before. So whether it's a dramatic off-center strike where Lincoln's head is nearly off the coin, or a multi-era coin featuring both doubling and planchet flaws, every variation adds a new layer to the value equation. And for those lucky enough to have hoarded 2003 rolls or proof sets untouched in drawers or bank boxes, the time to examine them is now, because under the microscope, these coins reveal their secrets. And those secrets could be worth thousands, so keep your eyes peeled, your magnifier ready, and your curiosity alive, because the next big discovery in coin collecting might just be sitting at the bottom of your piggy bank. And if this story opened your eyes to the extraordinary possibilities hidden in plain sight, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more incredible coin stories, and tap the bell icon so you never miss the next tale of ordinary coins worth extraordinary money. Next, now we dive deep into the intriguing world of the 2001 DUSA 1 cent coin, a seemingly regular Lincoln Memorial penny that has become a hot topic in the numismatic community because of its surprising value of up to $1,231 due to rare minting errors, unique imperfections, and overlooked production anomalies that have collectors and investors buzzing with excitement. And if you're holding a jar of coins or an old piggy bank, you might want to pay closer attention, because one of those little copper-colored coins could be hiding in plain sight, quietly holding enough value to turn your casual coin collecting hobby into a profitable adventure. And as we take a microscopic look into the features, history, minting process, and rare mistakes associated with the 2001 D1 cent, we'll unravel the many reasons why this penny has turned from simple pocket change into a mini treasure trove. Beginning with the basic fact that the 2001 D cent was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the United States Mint's major production facilities, known for its vast output and high-speed coin manufacturing, which unfortunately can lead to minor quality control slips that, while seemingly insignificant at the time, now contribute heavily to a coin's rarity and desirability. And in the case of the 2001 D penny, These errors are not just a fluke. They're part of a growing list of known varieties that include dramatic off-center strikes, double die obverse and reverses, die cracks, retained interior, die breaks, BIE errors, plating bubbles, and even transitional planchet anomalies. And each of these categories tells a story of how a simple process misalignment or mechanical flaw during the minting process can create coins so unique they capture the interest of both seasoned collectors and amateur enthusiasts. And one of the most notable errors found in the 2001 cent involves double die obverse, where the doubling is visible around the date, the word Liberty, and sometimes even Lincoln's profile, with a shadow-like effect that becomes more pronounced under magnification and especially valuable when preserved in high grade. And then there are examples with doubling on the reverse, showing two sets of lines on the Lincoln Memorial, or blurry, ghosted lettering in the inscriptions United States of America and E Pluribus Unum, both of which add significant premium in the collector's market. And let's not forget the infamous BIE error, a small vertical die break that appears between the B and E of Liberty, making it look like there's an extra letter I, which may sound trivial but has developed into one of the most collected types of die breaks in Lincoln's cents due to its recurring nature and specific die runs. And the BIE errors found in 2001 cents are often bold, clean, and very well formed, making them stand out sharply and attract collectors who specialize in this very niche error category. And moving on, we find a variety of striking errors, including off-center strikes, where the coin is not aligned properly during minting and thus results in a blank crescent shape on the coin's edge, sometimes even omitting part of Lincoln's head or the date entirely. And these can range in value based on how off-center the strike is, with more dramatic misalignments fetching higher prices. And in 2001 pennies, off-center errors around 50% with a full visible date are among the most prized, easily exceeding hundreds of dollars depending on the coin's condition. And speaking of condition, the grading of these coins cannot be emphasized enough, because a 2001 penny with a common error might be worth only a few dollars in low condition but could jump in value dramatically when found in mint state, particularly MS65 or higher, with red coloration preserved, strong luster, and minimal contact marks, which are especially rare given how most of these coins circulated heavily for decades. And then there are die cracks. These are small raised lines that appear on the coin's surface due to cracks forming on the mint die over time, and in some cases, these cracks become large enough to resemble raised bumps or ridges, often appearing near Lincoln's jawline, across the fields, or even connecting to the rim. And each die crack is unique, like a fingerprint, and many 2001 cents exhibit these cracks in dramatic and eye-catching ways, which increases their collectability, especially when paired with other errors such as misaligned dies or doubled lettering. And another standout error in 2001 cents involves plating bubbles, which appear as small blisters or bumps on the coin's surface due to improper bonding of the copper plating over the zinc core during the minting process. And although sometimes confused with post-mint damage, genuine plating bubbles can be quite valuable when verified, especially when they're numerous, large, and located in interesting areas of the coin such as Lincoln's face or the memorial columns. And then there are even rarer examples where the 2001 penny was mistakenly struck on a foreign planchet, resulting in wrong weight coins that differ subtly in size, thickness, or metal content. And these types of errors are often only discovered when collectors weigh their coins and find discrepancies that don't align with the standard 2.5 grams for modern cents. And once such a coin is authenticated, its value can skyrocket due to the extremely limited number of such anomalies. And let's not overlook the striking alignment issues where the obverse and reverse are rotated from each other beyond the standard 180-degree alignment, a condition known as rotated dies, which adds another layer of rarity and fascination for collectors, especially those assembling die alignment sets. And when you consider that millions upon millions of 2001 cents were produced, finding one with even a minor error might seem unlikely, but the very volume of production actually contributes to the existence of more flawed coins. And those who carefully search through rolls or inherited jars of old change often stumble upon surprising finds, including multi-error coins that combine several flaws such as a die crack, BIE error, and off-center strike all in one piece, which sends their value into the stratosphere for era coin collectors. And when you factor in the growing interest in coin collecting driven by online marketplaces, social media, and content creators, the demand for these types of coins is increasing rapidly, which drives up their market value and creates fierce bidding competitions for high-grade and rarer specimens. And one must also consider the historical context of the 2001 descent, struck just before the turbulent changes of the early 2000s in American society and numismatics. Representing one of the final years of Lincoln Memorial reverses before the transition to the bicentennial redesigns that came later, making it part of a closing chapter in Lincoln cent history, and the coin's age, now over 2 decades old, has given it enough time to develop a collector base, see circulation wear, and gain the nostalgic interest of collectors who were children when these coins first entered the economy. And among this collector base, there is a deep appreciation for anomalies, whether dramatic or subtle, which has created a thriving market where even seemingly minor flaws can translate into serious money. And as more coins are submitted to grading services for authentication and encapsulation, the population reports for high-grade 2001D errors continue to shape market prices, with fewer examples available in top condition pushing values even higher. And that's why people are turning their attention to these coins that once jingled meaninglessly in their pockets. Because today, with just a magnifier, a scale, and a keen eye, anyone can become a treasure hunter, scanning every cent for the telltale signs of value like raised lines, misalignments, blurry text, or unusual surfaces. And finding the right combination could mean discovering a coin worth not just a few dollars but hundreds or even over 1,000, like the rare 2001D 1-cent examples that have sold at auction or through private sales for up to $1,231. And stories continue to surface of people finding these gems while coin roll hunting or even during casual sorting, emphasizing that these coins are still out there, waiting to be found, examined, graded, and appreciated for their accidental uniqueness. So if you haven't yet searched your change jar, now might be the time to start, because the 2001D cent isn't just another penny, it's a window into the complexity of the minting process, the beauty of human error, and the unexpected ways in which value can hide in plain sight. And as long as collectors continue to appreciate the artistry, imperfection, and history behind these little copper discs, the market for error coins will only continue to grow, so stay vigilant, stay curious. And who knows, the next time you pick up a penny, you might just be holding a small fortune in your hand. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the surprising world of coin collecting and want more stories of everyday objects hiding extraordinary value, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss the next incredible journey into the hidden wealth of America's change. Next, today's video, we're going deep into one of the most eye-opening, jaw-dropping discoveries in recent American coinage history, a tiny, seemingly ordinary copper-plated zinc coin that holds secrets, surprises, and potentially thousands of dollars in hidden value. The 2018 D1-cent coin that has stunned collectors and experts alike by fetching as much as $2,363 due to an array of astonishing minting errors, overlooked mechanical mishaps, and rare production anomalies. And as we dive into the hidden world behind this coin's unexpected rise to fame and fortune, you'll discover that it's not about what you see at first glance, it's what you don't see, or rather, what only trained and patient eyes with numismatic knowledge can decode from the surface of this piece of copper-colored mystery. Because behind that plain face of Abraham Lincoln lies a series of rare misprints, doubled elements, die clashes, off-centers, and even planchet issues that, when found in the right combinations or specific varieties, can catapult the coin's value from a measly 1 cent to a small fortune that collectors around the world are willing to pay a premium for. And it all begins with understanding what happened in 2018 at the Denver Mint, where millions of these coins were produced, yet only a tiny fraction exhibited the perfect storm of mistakes that now define the most sought-after examples. And while most people wouldn't blink twice at a 2018 D penny, experts in error coinage began reporting findings of dramatic die deterioration, doubling on both the obverse and reverse, causing a ghost-like effect around Lincoln's profile and the inscriptions "I in God We Trust, Liberty," and the date. But more than that, what makes this coin particularly valuable is the rare appearance of doubling, not just due to worn dies but because of a dramatic doubled die obverse, a phenomenon that occurs when the die itself is improperly hubbed, causing raised and clearly duplicated features visible to the naked eye or under modest magnification. And when you have such doubled features, especially if they occur in combination with a misaligned die strike, where the coin is struck off-center, leaving part of the design skewed or absent, you begin to unlock the kind of minting errors that collectors pay thousands to acquire. And among the most celebrated examples is the 2018 1-cent coin with a misaligned obverse die causing the profile of Lincoln to shift slightly counterclockwise while the legends around him stretched unnaturally to the rim, in some cases bleeding into the coin's collar or appearing squished and ghosted, giving rise to what error coin specialists call mad strikes, or misaligned die errors, and in other instances, coins from 2018 have been found with retained cut breaks, where a portion of the die breaks off but continues to strike coins, resulting in massive raised blobs or chunks along the rim, especially near the date or the Lincoln Memorial shield on the reverse, creating dramatic visual deviations that are both rare and highly collectible. And speaking of the reverse, many 2018 pennies show signs of die clashes, which occur when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, imprinting features of one side onto the other. And this type of error can lead to ghost images of Lincoln's portrait appearing faintly on the shield side or elements of the shield like the vertical stripes appearing as ghost marks near Lincoln's jawline or neck, a type of error that is both rare and fascinating due to its storytelling value. It tells the tale of a chaotic moment at the Denver Mint where the precision and consistency of mass production faltered, and for collectors, such errors become not just desirable but critical in building a high-value, high-rarity collection. And there's more. Because among the known error types for the 2018 penny are coins struck on foreign planchets, or planchets meant for other denominations or countries, resulting in undersized or off-metal errors, such as zinc-plated steel instead of the standard copper-plated zinc, or even clad planchets showing unusual reading or weight when tested, and this raises the value exponentially, especially if the coin is authenticated by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC who assign designations such as mint error, struck on dime planchet, or off-metal error. And once that happens, values can leap from a few hundred to a few thousand depending on the rarity and condition, and that brings us to another vital element, the coin's condition, because not all 2018 pennies are equal, and the ones that command the most money are in mint state condition, meaning they exhibit no signs of circulation, no scratches, no wear, and have retained their original luster, and within that mint state range, coins graded MS65, MS66, or MS67 with full strike details and sharp definition, especially those with rare errors, have become highly competitive in auctions, with online platforms like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and great collections regularly listing these coins with starting bids in the hundreds and final sale prices exceeding $2,000, and in one such case, a 2018 penny with a spectacular die clash and retained interior die break near the reverse shield fetched $2,363 in an online auction. Not because it was a key date or proof coin, but because it combined extreme rarity, visible and dramatic minting flaws, and high-grade condition, making it a one-of-a-kind collector's prize. And now, add to this mix the allure of coins with multiple overlapping errors, like a 2018 cent with both off-center strike and double die reverse, or one that exhibits strike-through marks from debris caught between the die and planchet, creating textured voids or unusual gouges during striking. And you begin to understand how this common coin becomes the stuff of numismatic legend, and even more fascinating is that some examples show progressive die wear stages where collectors can document how the same die degrades over time, leading to varieties like Stage A, Stage B, etc., each with escalating levels of deformation, which are collected almost like chapters in a story, making them even more appealing to those who love to see the life cycle of minting imperfections unfold. And don't forget that the Denver Mint mark also carries regional collecting interest, as some collectors seek out every possible demint error coin from every year, creating niche markets for even obscure or borderline mint flaws, so even minor chips, die fatigue, feeder finger strikes, and planchet laminations can add value when combined with this growing demand, and this is why you, the average viewer, might want to check your pocket change, your penny jars, or old coin rolls from the bank. Because the odds are slim but very real that you might stumble upon one of these anomaly-laced coins worth hundreds or thousands of times more than face value, and the real treasure is often hiding in plain sight, waiting to be identified, cataloged, and appreciated by someone with patience, curiosity, and an eye for detail. And while many of these high-value coins have been submitted for professional grading, it's important to remember that raw coins, those not yet graded, can still fetch significant amounts if their errors are dramatic and obvious enough. And so the next time you receive change and happen to spot a 2018 D penny, don't overlook it, because it might carry a rare minting mystery that the US Mint never intended. And remember that behind every coin is a story, a factory mishap, a mechanical hiccup, or a historical moment frozen in copper-plated zinc. And when collectors realize how few of these error coins exist out of the billions minted, it's no wonder why competition for pristine, high-grade, error-laden 2018 D pennies is fierce, because in the end, this is not just about a coin, it's about the thrill of discovery, the joy of uncovering a hidden gem, and the possibility that what most consider worthless pocket change can become $1,000 reward simply by knowing what to look for. And with new varieties still being discovered by dedicated coin roll hunters and sharp-eyed collectors each year, it's entirely possible that new record-setting examples will emerge, bringing even more attention to this once-overlooked penny. So whether you're new to coin collecting or a seasoned numismatist, the 2018 D1 cent is a modern marvel worth exploring, examining, and treasuring, not just for its monetary value but for its reminder that even in our high-speed digital world, something as small and simple as a penny can still carry the power to surprise, inspire, and enrich those willing to dig a little deeper. So if you've enjoyed uncovering this hidden treasure with us today, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to our channel for more stories of incredible coins and the secrets they carry, and tap the bell icon so you never miss a chance to learn about the next coin that might change your life forever. Last, we explore the shocking truth behind the 2000 D1 cent coin, a seemingly ordinary penny minted at the Denver Mint that has defied all odds and expectations by reaching an astonishing market value of up to $1,572 due to a unique convergence of rare mint errors, mechanical failures, striking anomalies, and overlooked production mishaps that transform this humble 1-cent piece into a powerful numismatic marvel worth investigating in great depth. And what makes this story even more fascinating is that this coin has circulated for years under the radar, often mistaken for its billions of common counterparts, until careful collectors and coin experts began to notice recurring yet exceptionally rare flaws that, when authenticated and confirmed, elevated this copper-plated zinc coin into a high-value collectible. And to fully understand how and why the 2000 D penny can be worth so much more than its face value, we need to go back to the turn of the millennium, a time of massive coin production as the United States Mint was keeping up with the economic boom and increased demand for circulating currency. And in that rush and scale of production, certain mechanical vulnerabilities at the Denver Mint began to reveal themselves in the form of improperly prepared dies, inconsistent die alignment, faulty planchet quality, and die deterioration that all played a role in the formation of the now famous error types associated with this particular year and mint mark combination. And among the most desirable errors identified on the 2000 D1 cent coin are dramatic off-center strikes, which occur when the coin blank or planchet is not properly seated between the dies, leading to coins that are struck partially or even significantly off-center, often showing only a portion of Lincoln's bust with the date, mint mark, or legends partially missing or skewed toward the rim. And collectors go absolutely wild for these because they are both visually striking and extremely rare, especially when the off-center strike is paired with a readable date and mint mark. And moving beyond off-center errors, another highly sought-after variety from the 2000 D batch is the presence of double die errors, especially on the obverse, where Lincoln's profile, along with the inscriptions "I in God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 2000, show unmistakable doubling due to a misalignment during the hubbing process of the die, and unlike machine doubling, which is flat and shelf-like, these double die errors exhibit true doubling with rounded, well-defined raised elements that are clearly the result of a die creation mishap rather than wear or post-mint damage, and the more pronounced and dramatic the doubling, the more valuable the coin becomes. And examples of strong doubled dies on the 2000 penny have been documented selling for over $1,000, especially when found in mint state condition. And that brings us to another major factor driving the value of this coin, its grade and condition, because a 2000 penny with rare errors in pristine condition, graded MS65 or higher by reputable services such as PCGS or NGC, is worth significantly more than one showing wear or circulation marks, and this is why some high-grade error examples are pushing beyond the $1,500 mark, as their combination of visual error appeal and untouched condition makes them incredibly scarce and desirable. And as we dig further into the production flaws that make this coin special, we encounter retained cut breaks, which occur when a portion of the die cracks near the rim and breaks off, but instead of being immediately replaced, it continues striking coins, leading to raised blobs or chunks of metal on the coin's surface, usually near the date or rim, and these retained cuts are both dramatic and easy to spot, making them popular among new and seasoned collectors alike, and in certain 2000 examples. These cuts are paired with die cracks running across Lincoln's face or neck, adding complexity and value due to the combination of multiple error types on a single coin. And another rare but confirmed error type from this year involves die clashes, where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in place, leading to impressions of reverse elements appearing faintly on the obverse and vice versa, and in some extreme cases, you might see the outline of the Lincoln Memorial Shield faintly etched into Lincoln's shoulder or the remnants of Lincoln's jawline, ghosting behind the shield's vertical stripes. And these types of errors are not only rare but highly valued for their storytelling nature. They provide insight into the moment of minting chaos that led to the creation of a truly one-of-a-kind piece. And speaking of unique errors, we also must explore the growing number of reports about 2000 pennies struck on improper planchets, such as copper blanks left over from previous years or even foreign planchets meant for other denominations or countries. And these planchets may be slightly underweight or overweight, have a slightly different color or metallic sheen, or show unusual surface textures, and once these off-metal errors are confirmed by metallurgical analysis and authenticated by grading services, they can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars due to their extreme rarity and the curiosity they inspire. And this is part of a broader trend where collectors are seeking out oddities and anomalies that tell a story, and with the 2000 penny, there is a rich narrative of minting inconsistencies that turns a simple piece of change into a museum-worthy artifact of American minting history. And another error type worth noting is the presence of die chips and die fill errors, especially in Lincoln's eye, beard, or the letters of liberty, where small sections of the die become filled with grease or debris, leading to missing or malformed details on the coin, such as a filled-in B or missing Y, or even the famous BIE error where a vertical die chip forms between the B and E of liberty, creating what appears to be an extra I, and turning the word into liberty. A charming and popular variety among error coin enthusiasts that can boost a coin's value considerably when paired with high-grade surfaces. And collectors are also tracking transitional errors from this time period where experimental blanks or die transitions from earlier years may have slipped through the minting process, resulting in coins with design elements or metal compositions that don't align with the official mint specifications for 2000, and these so-called transitionals are exceptionally rare and command top dollar when authenticated, and even minor anomalies like strike-through errors, where lint, metal shavings, or other debris become embedded between the die and planchet during striking, can result in strange depressions, textures, or voids on the coin's surface that collectors find fascinating and valuable, especially when they are centered, large, and dramatic. And with all these possibilities in mind, it's no wonder that coin hunters and roll searchers are keeping a close eye on their 2000 pennies, as the range of error types and the high market values make it one of the most lucrative modern coins to search for, and with confirmed auction sales, private deals, and grading submissions showing these coins consistently fetching anywhere from a few hundred to over $1,500 depending on the error severity and coin condition. It's clear that this is not just hype, it's a legitimate market trend driven by scarcity, collector interest, and the timeless appeal of finding hidden value in everyday items. And as new discoveries continue to surface with the help of social media groups, online auction houses, and dedicated error coin websites, we are witnessing a renaissance in modern coin collecting where coins like the 2000 1 cent are gaining recognition not just for their rarity, but for their educational value, their role in illustrating the minting process, and their ability to turn the mundane into the magnificent. And so we encourage you to carefully inspect your change, search through old jars, visit your bank for penny rolls, and take the time to closely examine every 2000 penny that crosses your path, because the next $1,000 error coin could be sitting quietly in your own pocket, waiting to be discovered, cherished, and added to a growing legacy of valuable American coinage that continues to reward those with curiosity, patience, and a keen eye for detail. And if you've enjoyed this deep dive into the incredible story behind the 2000 1 cent coin and its hidden value, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more amazing coin stories, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a chance to uncover the secrets behind the coins in your very own pocket.